Patriot League Network presents Postseason Softball. Today a champion will be crowned and an NCAA spot decided as the top-seeded Terriers take on the Lehigh Mountain Hawks in a 2017 title rematch. Thanks for joining us for the conclusion of the 2018 Patriot League season. I'm Alex Smith, still here alongside Greg Levinsky. For the Terriers, the road here was straightforward, home field advantage, 2 straight wins, and now they are just a single victory away. And in games like this, experience and leadership can be key. And in Brittany Union, the Terriers have a player who checks both boxes.
Absolutely, Alex. The senior shortstop has been here for now 5 years. She was injured last year, of course, but has been a tremendous performer. Rookie of the year, freshman year, to first team and defensive player of the year. Now, Brittany Union plays a tremendous shortstop and also is a great hitter at the top of the Terrier order who has stolen actually quite a few bases lately as well.
And for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks, they had their backs up against the wall yesterday, back-to-back wins, and that was thanks to pitcher Parker Boyd. The 6-foot sophomore sparkled with 14 shutout innings. That's 20 innings in a row without yielding a run, and if Lehigh are to repeat, they were last year's champions, then she will need to continue that streak as the Mountain Hawks will need back-to-back wins against the Terriers.
This teams have gone back and forth, alternating Patriot League titles the last 4 years, and it should really be exciting with these two teams because they haven't played each other yet in this tournament either.
Right.
So we had that sort of thing come through where everyone played everybody, and that is happening today, and we're looking forward to seeing what happens.
You said it, Greg. These teams have accounted for the last 4 Patriot League titles. Only one will advance to the 2018 NCAA tournament. We'll find out who that is next. This is Patriot League Softball on Stadium. Welcome back to Boston University for Championship Saturday between the Terriers and the Lehigh Mountain Hawks. As Lehigh are set to bat here in the top of the first inning, it will be Nicole Yazzo, the left fielder, leading things off against the pitcher of the year, the freshman of the year, Allie Dubois. Dubois did not complete her start in yesterday's win, as Yazzo swings and misses at that first pitch.
Yeah, she threw 6.1 innings. It was Callie Dolphy, another freshman, who came in and recorded the last 2 outs. Scattered 4 earned runs, 9 hits against Bucknell in the opening game yesterday.
Second pitch is outside. And Yazzo really looked like she enjoyed herself throughout the pair of victories that Lehigh earned yesterday. Lehigh has already sent 2 teams packing in this tournament. As I mentioned, both of those victories occurred yesterday. First, the Army Black Knights fell without recording a win in the tournament, and then the Bucknell Bison, who beat Lehigh in the first day, eventually were defeated by a final of 3-0.
And as funky as it is, because it's a double elimination tournament, BU actually hasn't sent anyone home themselves.
Right.
It's only been first losses for the Terriers.
And this one is going to be grounded tomorrow at second. Quick flip to first, and she is out. Nicole Yazzo was close, and we know she's certainly got the speed. We saw her with devastating effect with the infield hits against Bucknell, but she is retired by Morrow for the first out.
And that's the second consecutive defensive play for Emily Morrow. She ended the Terriers' first game yesterday incredibly, and now looks to do so again.
So here is Schultz stepping in. First pitch to her is outside. Katie Schultz recorded what would eventually be the game-winning hit, grounded a single through the right side that plated 2 Lehigh runs against Bucknell. That happened in the 6th inning. Here she taps one to Morrow, who records her second straight throw on to first. As we will take a look at the BU lineup defensively, Greg, it's been the same now all 3 games in the playoffs.
Yeah, in the infield you go first to third with Caitlin Salinger, Emily Morrow, Brittany Union, and Maddie Killebrew. Then left to right, Alexa Ponce, Jilly Shonda, Emma Wong, and of course behind the plate, Alex Heinen with Allie Dubois on the mound.
Mary Hannah Smith now, the second baseman, got that average back up over 300. It is now at 303 on the year. Has only sat out a single game this season for Lehigh, and Emily Morrow's been busy. First inning, 3 grounders to her, and a clean first for Allie Dubois. Terriers come up next. This is Patriot League softball on Stadium. BU to bat here in the bottom of the first. Brittany Union leads off and plays shortstop. Emma Wong, the right fielder, will follow her. Patriot League Player of the Year Alex Heinen in the 3 spot, followed by Killebrew, who has 7 RBI in these 2 postseason games. Shonda would be next, followed by Morrow, Alexa Ponce, Caitlin Salinger, and the freshman designated player, Marina Silvestri. For BU, the lineup has been very effective. 8 runs in that first game, 6 in the win over Bucknell. And Union, of course, as she has been throughout her BU career, a catalyst at the top of the lineup.
And we'll have a quick little delay as the gate in the right field bullpen was left ajar. And like you said, Alex, definitely a catalyst at the top of the lineup. She's really been cemented there from day one of this season, and really most of her career as well, been at the top of this Terrier order, and has really done a nice job in her senior season.
First pitch swinging, lines one up the middle off of Parker Boyd. And Boyd gave up just 6 hits, back-to-back 3-hit, 7-inning shutouts. Also dazzled with 9 strikeouts against that tough Bucknell lineup yesterday. She was really hard to get to, but Union jumping all over her on the first pitch. Now the question is, will they put her in motion? As Wong slaps one foul. There's a fence in front of the BU dugout, but a small opening, of course, and that one was dangerous. It went right into that opening. Everyone's all right. And 1 strike to the BU right fielder. This one slapped on the ground, and Wong is called out.
It's a bang-bang play just like Yazzo's, and that's it's a consistent call both ways for both teams. You get called out. Ty not going to the runner in this situation. It was just 2 nice defensive plays.
For Wong, won't go as a sacrifice bunt, but it serves the same purpose. Here's Heinen with a runner in scoring position. First pitch to her is up high. And for Boyd, there's no doubt about it. She is the key for the Mountain Hawks. The Lehigh hitters have not been as explosive as some of the other lineups in the playoffs, as this one is going to be slashed foul first base side.
And Heinen put a really tough swing on that one. Just got way out on it, which lasted over down foul. And Alex, I completely agree with you in that Lehigh's defense and pitching is really what helps them to win games. And they need to be stellar today because you are facing the toughest lineup statistically in the Patriot League.
1-1 on Heinen. And the pitch up high. Terriers have also scored in the first inning of both playoff games. They hung 6 runs on Courtney Springman and Army in the first game, just the single run against the Bison. Here's the 2-1. It is lifted into the outfield. Retreating is Schultz, who makes the catch, and that will allow Union to move up to third base.
And in both of those inning or game opening runs in the first inning, it was Maddie Killebrew,
right,
who had a 2 RBI hit the first time, and yesterday was an RBI double. And see if she can continue that streak in her first at-bat this afternoon.
She has been the best hitter in this Patriot League postseason thus far. Despite only playing 2 games, most teams have played 3. She has 7 postseason RBI. For reference, that's as many runs as the Mountain Hawks have scored for the entirety of this 3-game postseason run.
It was 5 in that decisive game over Bucknell yesterday for Maddie Killebrew, including what was the go-ahead home run and added insurance after that.
Boyd going back to that outside spot, missing again. Now 2-0 the count. Hitters count to Killebrew. And she lifts one to the outfield. Should be routine for Schultz. Couple steps in, and she retires Maddie Killebrew. No score after one. This is the Patriot League Championship on Stadium. No score after one as you get a look at the Lehigh lineup. Here's Greg Levinsky.
And it's 4-5-6 to begin this second inning. Carolyn Wright, Peyton also Brooks, and Allison Dipsey behind the plate. After that, you get to shortstop or third baseman Rachel Timmerman, shortstop Bree Gerhardt, center fielder Ashley Arbago, then flip it over Nicole Yazzo, Katie Schultz, and Mary Hannah Smith.
First pitch, a strike from Dubois. 1-2-3 first inning. If you're just joining us, 3 grounders to second. That's how Dubois got out of that first inning. And this one is grounded to third, booted by Killebrew. And safe at first is Wright. That'll be scored E5. Killebrew, a standout at the plate, but scuffling a little bit in the field, did make an error yesterday as well. And Dubois will have to pitch around a leadoff base runner.
And Peyton also Brooks now at the plate. Didn't start a ton of games in the regular season, but has cemented herself in the middle of the Lehigh order during the postseason tournament. And we already see Jen Stahl coming in as a pinch runner as well for Lehigh, Alex. We've seen her come in every game thus far as a pinch runner.
So important for Lehigh to, when they do get runners on, to make something of it, but that is not going to help things one bit. Peyton also Brooks pops up a bunt, and really an easy play for Heinen as Lehigh burning out. One
of the themes we've had this weekend is really the unsuccessful bunt. We haven't seen a ton of bunts work into fruition. We've seen slap hit ground balls work the same way, but bunts have not been kind throughout the last couple of days.
So this is Dipsey, the catcher. Just a freshman. Has been the main catcher for these Mountain Hawks. Now her 35th start. This is the 50th game for the Mountain Hawks this year. Dubois quickly ahead 0-2.
We see her painting the outside corner with a right-handed hitter, looking to keep balls in the strike zone but not at hittable waist level.
Here's the 0-2. Lashed foul third base side. And, of course, Carolyn Wright, the first baseman, will be reinserted despite having the pinch runner in for her. This one, again, fouled back. And the freshman catcher hanging tough. We mentioned it in the open. This was the exact situation last season, other than the site where this game took place. It was at Lehigh, and BU won their first 2 games and then came in needing just one more. Ended up dropping 2 one-run games to Lehigh, a heartbreaking way to end your season and miss out on the playoffs. 1-2 is bounced to the plate, evening the count. Teams haven't been testing Alex Heinen behind the plate.
And if there is a team to do it, though, it's this Lehigh team. They steal a lot of bases and have so throughout the entirety of the season.
2-2 fouled. That one off the leg of the umpire, and Heinen, as the unspoken rules of the game dictate, will head out and have a word with Dubois, allowing home plate umpire Hector Martinez a moment to collect himself.
Stahl over at first base is 6 for 6 on stolen base attempts. And she's somebody who comes in and pinch runs quite often and always the first option to do so for Lehigh.
Here's the 2-2 with one down. It is grounded to Union at short. She will cut down the lead runner. The relay to first is not in time.
And that's a poised play, though, by Brittany Union just to make that pick. It did have kind of a tough hop, come up pretty high towards her chest, but made sure she gathered, got it onto Morrow in time, and like the relay wasn't there, but you still get the lead runner and you're in a better situation.
It's so hard, really, on any ball that is not absolutely scalded to the shortstop to turn the double play due to the short base paths. That middle infield of Union and Morrow, both of them all league honorees. If they can't do it, I think it's safe to say that no one could have turned that one. So Rachel Timberman, senior third baseman, quickly falling behind, and here's Union again. This time takes it herself, and Dubois pitches out of that leadoff error as we will head to the bottom half of the second, still scoreless here on the Patriot League Network. Windy 50 degrees here in Boston as we get a look at the Lehigh defensive alignment. It is a stellar defensive outfield with Rabago in center. Yazo and Schultz are equally stellar in the corners. Rachel Timberman, former shortstop, now a third baseman in her senior season. Bree Gerhart and Mary Hannah Smith are the middle infielders, with senior Carolyn Wright at first base and Allison Dibsey behind the dish. Defense, of course, helping out Boyd in the back-to-back 3-0 wins yesterday, but especially in that second game, Boyd absolutely just blowing hitters away and seeming like she really gets an uptick in velocity when she gets in late-game key situations. Here she gets ahead of Jilly Shonda, who checks her swing and fouls off the 0-1 pitch.
Shonda's been really cemented in that 5 spot in the order. After that, it's been a little bit more up in the air throughout the ending of the season, but the top 5 in the BU lineup has really not changed at all throughout all 50-plus games of this year.
And Shonda lifting another one foul. We're blessed with fantastic weather on Thursday and Friday. Not the case today, as the start time of this one pushed up to try to get the game in before the predicted showers. That one is outside. Boyd looking in and now delivers. This one's skied again, foul on the first base side. Shonda likes to swing the bat. 6 strikeouts and just 6 walks. She doesn't really do either. She puts the ball in play almost every time.
And in Patriot League play, that's really helped her a lot. She always seems to turn it on in Patriot League play.
Here's the pitch down low. Of course, plus speed for the center fielder. Extra base pop as well, and she can hit it out of the yard. The 2017 Patriot League Player of the Year. As this one is checked swing, grounded to Boyd, who flips onto first for the out. Score at 1-3, and Morrow will be next.
I think Emily Morrow was a nice surprise for this team with her bat this year at second base, hovering around that 280 mark. And she's been very consistent as another left-handed hitter who fields right-handed, but a left-handed hitter in this Terrier lineup.
And she does split up a couple righties. Heinen, Killebrew, and Shonda, 3, 4, 5, are all right-handed. And then I like having Morrow in that 6th spot as a lefty. And then you go to Ponce and Salinger, right, left, right, at the bottom of the order. Boyd falling behind. Here's the pitch. She leaves it down low. For Boyd, the biggest thing, really that velocity. 6-foot-tall sophomore pumps one in there. Counts now 2-1.
And last year in this series, it wasn't so much Parker Boyd who was pitching, but with her performance so far in the playoffs, that's kind of negligible. She's really been incredible.
This one is going to be lined to shortstop, though it does bounce, and Gerhardt makes a strong throw over to Carolyn Wright. 2 down. Yeah, Boyd trying to follow in the footsteps of Lehigh legend Christine Campbell, who pitched a shutout in the first game of the championship series last year, and then that game was just 1-0, and then a 4-3 win in game 2. She pitched all 14 innings, and if Lehigh are to repeat, as we mentioned in the open, it's very likely that Boyd will need to do the same.
And it's one of those things where she's just been incredible, except for, albeit the first inning of this tournament, she's been pretty much untouchable and has really gotten better with every start in terms of strikeouts as well. So it seems that she has just really hit her stride here.
This one is lifted, and a diving play made by Bree Gerhardt. Crossing over into foul territory. Timberman couldn't get there, but Gerhardt retires Alexa Ponce for the 3rd out. We'll head to the 3rd inning here on the Patriot League Network on Stadium. Take the Patriot League with you wherever you go. Live games and on-demand content is free and easy to watch online and on your mobile devices. Log on to patriotleague.tv or download the Watch Stadium app to start watching today. Bree Gerhardt leads off the Lehigh 3rd after making a spectacular grab diving into foul territory and retiring Alexa Ponce.
That Lehigh dugout is certainly spirited as well.
And the 1-0 pitch is over for a strike.
You don't hear a lot of teams with that sort of kind of, I don't want to call it little league, but that's, a lot of times what you hear with younger teams.
And the reason I think you hear a lot of chatter from most teams, but the chants and kind of the almost, I want to call them songs, are unified coming from that Lehigh dugout when they're hitting. And a swing and a miss on the bouncing strike 3. Heinen will throw down. Easy play for Dubois' first strikeout.
And I like them too. Sometimes they get pretty creative,
and
they're pretty funny. But each team has their own thing. For BU, it's the dog Bean, and for Lehigh, it's the chance.
So this is Rabago, the center fielder, batting 9th today. Taking strike 1. First time through the order for Dubois, has only allowed 1 runner to reach base, and through no fault of her own. A 1 pitch going back to that outside spot, but a few inches off the plate.
Right, when you have the smaller batter, it's harder to get that strike called for you when they don't have quite as much of an extension.
Here's the 1-1. Off speed and swung on and missed. That one had drop to it. Especially with those run-out hitters, you see them just swinging over the top of that pitch so often. Here's the 1-2. Batted foul. Went back to it. And Rabago just getting a piece.
And you're already getting the makings of this game as a similar to these teams in the past, these low-scoring affairs where one run, one swing at the bat can make the entirety of a difference.
Rabago is called out on strikes. Did not offer, but it didn't matter to Hector Martinez. So back-to-back punch-outs for the freshman hurler. And we'll turn over the lineup, I should say, with Yazo.
And you see some communication going on there with BU. We've seen every team really approach coming in Nicole Yazo just 1 extra base hit on the season. So they really want to make sure that if there's a ball laid down, someone's going to get there quickly to fire it on over to first and try to get the speedster.
49 hits this year for Yazo in her senior season. And you said it, Greg, just 1 extra base hit. It came yesterday. And we heard from some Lehigh sports information folks that That was her first extra base hit since her freshman season. Has really tailored her swing to just pound the ball into the ground and beat it out. Something that she does so well. Here's Heinen, quick reaction, but that one was foul.
But if you're on the BU side, you really enjoy seeing the activity from Alex Heinen back there to pounce up quickly. And on the Lehigh side, you saw Yazo, how quickly she got out of the box, and that would have been a relatively close play for a ball bounced right in front of the catcher.
2-1 on the way to the left fielder. Is outside. So Nicole Yazo ahead 3-1. And if you put her on first, she's going to take second. That one tapped foul. Yazo checking her swing, but really almost off the knob of the bat there.
Yazo's only walked 5 times on the year, so not a ton of base on balls. She puts so many in contact or in play.
Payoff pitch swung on and missed. And Yazo halfway down to first, but striking out the side is Dubois. We'll head to the BU third. This is postseason softball on Stadium. Moving on through this 2018 Patriot League Championship Series, or potential series, I should say. If the Terriers were to win here, it would be decided, with Lehigh needing 2 victories on Championship Saturday. It will be the first baseman, the senior Caitlin Salinger, leading things off in the BU third. Boyd's first pitch is inside.
And Salinger's had a pretty good playoff as well, 3 for 6 with a home run and a couple more runs batted in after that. Been seeing the ball well, putting a couple just grounders in no man's land for the fielders to get to.
Second pitch called a strike. Boyd going inside, then back out on the power hitting lefty.
Definitely still looks pretty collected out there and very calm and confident on the circle for Lehigh.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and tapped foul in front of the plate. We did see Salinger with the glove. A couple highlight plays yesterday. Made a scoop where she was fully extended, almost laying out on the dirt, and then another diving stop towards the line. And they were all crucial as that game really came down to the wire. Here's the pitch outside. Evening the count at 2-2. Silvestri is next, followed by Unin, who has the only hit of this game as it stands. 2-2, lifted foul behind home plate. When blowing out to left field. Right field rather. It's always tempting for these left-handed hitters, the 200 feet to the wall, as that one's up high.
Lehigh, the only team in the tournament that we haven't seen more than one pitcher yet.
This one is lifted foul on the BU side.
You've seen at least one extra out for one pitcher other than their kind of de facto starter recording out.
Right.
Except for Parker Boyd has been unrelenting in wanting to give up that spot in the circle.
3-2 is going to be tapped to the shortstop. That's Gerhardt firing onto first. And Salinger is a 6-3 out.
It's been routine plays for the middle infield from both sides, really, and they haven't made any mistakes on those shortstop and second base spots. All 4, both from each team, have had their hand in quite a few plays so far.
So now Silvestri will bat for the first time today. Try to create traffic on the base paths for Unin and Wong, who follow. First pitch swinging, lifting it to right, but out of play.
We've seen Marina Silvestri cement herself in the order, mostly at the 9 and 8 spot for BU. She does have some power. She hit her first career home run in the ultimate game of the regular season and provides that nice little bridge back to the top of the order.
That one was inside, but it does go for strike 2. Silvestri bats quite close to the plate. Backing off, but not getting the call. Here's the 0-2 to the freshman. Swung on and lifted on the infield. Wright camping under it and making the catch. Boyd continuing to cruise. Has not struck out a batter yet, but certainly inducing weak contact. Here's Union, the only player to get the best for thus far. Grounded one up the middle to lead off the game, eventually advanced to third, but was stranded there.
And now we get a little bit of the drizzle effect coming in. And we'll see how that affects anything. Maybe dirt gets a little wet, the ball moves a little bit slower.
That one paints the outside corner. First pitch strike to Brittany Union. And Boyd trying to go back to that spot, doesn't get the call this time. She really puts the umpires in a tough position, which is always what you want to do as the pitcher. When she gets a call in the outside corner, she tries to nibble an inch or two more off the plate as she goes back yet again, but for the second straight time missing.
And we've seen how she's really been able to widen her strike zone as well.
Yes.
The corners of the plates become more like the middle of the plate, and the outside becomes more like the corner. She does such a good job of incrementally getting out there.
And Union reaches base for the second time today. So she is this time a 2-out base runner. Here's Wong. Like to see Union swipe a bag here. We saw BU manufacture a run against Bucknell when Union took an extra base on what should have really been a single, got to second. And first pitch, Union going, and she is in safely.
And she remains perfect in Patriot League play in stolen bases, now 10 for 10 in conference play on swiping the bags. And really important in a game like this, you got to execute those base running risks, especially when you take them. It's smart to take them, and when you execute them, obviously it makes you look so much better.
And for someone like Wong, who is a slap hitter, really a singles hitter, important to move up into scoring position, as that one is framed nicely by the catcher Dipsy, evening the count at 1 apiece.
You got Union kind of dancing over there at second base. If a ball drops, she'll be off and running as fast as she can to try to slide into third.
This one is low. So a 2-1 count now to the senior right fielder. 350 average coming in, though she grounded out to the pitcher her first try. That one is up and away. When she misses, it's not by much. Here's the pitch. Lifted foul. BU side net keeping that one from getting into the grocery store parking lot. Temperature dropping here in Boston on a rainy afternoon. This one is lined to left, and it lands about maybe half a foot foul.
Yeah, that almost got down the line. We see so many of these left-handed slap hitters who go opposite field. When they see their pitch, they can kind of nuke it over to wherever they want.
Yep.
And in that case, Emma Wong was just very, very, oh so close, but didn't get it quite there. Had that dropped, Union probably would have been heading for home.
So 2-strike count to Emma Wong. And she lifts one to the outfield. This should score Union as it drops Wong is going to dig for second, and she slides in safely.
Smart play by Emma Wong to take the extra base. Obviously a great piece of hitting when you saw a ball she liked on the previous pitch, put it almost where she wanted it. In this case, just take the ball where it's coming from, right, Alex? You don't want to do anything too crazy and try to take the ball out of the yard or put it too hard, place it. In this case, she just placed it exactly where she wanted it, and so effective. You have Yunin striding home, and now you get the same situation, Wong at second with the Patriot League Player of the Year coming up to the plate.
And it's what Boyd avoided yesterday. The free pass eventually comes around to score after stealing second. Yunin was obviously off on contact with 2 down. And Heinen has a chance to add another. First pitch to her is a letter-high strike.
And Parker Boyd, that ends her 22 and 2/3 inning scoreless streak.
Here's the 0-1. That one outside.
And you can see when she gets behind a little bit, she kind of slows down, gathers herself before the pitch each time, making sure that she's, dug in and ready to roll.
Here's the 1-1. Popped foul out of play. Boyd does have the sleeves today, as Lehigh appearing for the first time of this postseason in the brown jerseys. Two-strike pitch to Heinen was about shoulder high. Two and two the count to the Patriot League Player of the Year. And it is outside once again. Red hot Maddie Killebrew is next, if Heinen can find a way on. 2 down. And the payoff pitch is slap foul, third base. For all these visiting teams, they had to make sure they, you pack the multiple jerseys, you pack the sleeves, the turtlenecks, because you got to be ready for anything in Boston in May.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get, and it's pretty unpredictable up here in Boston. But one thing we knew coming into this was that we kind of expected that this day would be the iffy day for the weather.
And Heinen grounds one through. Wong will score. Heinen trying to take the extra base, and she does so. That will be scored an RBI single as Yazo tried to relay home, hitting the cutoff, and Heinen was thinking 2 all the way.
And all these runs now coming with 2 outs. We saw BU do this yesterday with 2 outs rallying, and are doing it today in the bottom of the 3rd inning here at the Boston University softball field.
And the runners continuing to really look for any way to move up, as Heinen with 2 outs will make way for Harita. Jen Harita, a speedy freshman outfielder, will replace the catcher, as the Terriers now lead by a score of 2-0.
And you still got your middle of the order here. And that's your 4-hitter who has been on quite a tear in the last 48 hours or so. Very comfortable hitting here at home.
She certainly is. This rally has all come with 2 outs. Salinger and Silvestri were both retired to start this inning. And then the top of the lineup coming through in a big way with the game's first 2 runs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. A light rain, but a cold rain. And here's the pitch. Called strike. Killebrew, one of a couple BU players with baseball in their blood, you might say.
Yeah, we got her. She's related to, obviously, Harmon Killebrew, a name that lots of baseball fans know. And then Marina
Lots of
Silvestri's
Minnesota Twins fans.
grandfather, Marino Peretti, was a pitcher for the Washington Senators.
This one is lifted high and mishandled by Dipsy.
And you're probably going to attribute that a little bit to the rain coming down.
Right.
On her face mask. That's an awkward thing to look up when you still have the mask on with the rain kind of puddling in. It's sort of double duty with vision impairment in that case.
And we mentioned yesterday the just how difficult it is to field a pop-up with the catcher's glove. You see, it's made to be kind of facing straight and receiving the pitch primarily. And Dipsy didn't even have time to rip off the mask on the play. I think you nailed it, Greg. Just tough to look up and see with the rain coming down. Second life for Killebrew. She'll try to make it count with 2 strikes. Taking low and inside. Both teams now have used pinch runners.
And some action in the Lehigh bullpen as well.
This one bouncing into the plate. And Dipsy faking the throw, but no one was covering second.
Yeah, Harita kind of toying with her a little bit, giving some more of those strides out towards third base. And with no one covering, you can do that.
Another full count with 2 down. Slashed foul right off the gate. Good-sized crowd. Of course, there were plenty of folks here yesterday with all 4 teams playing, some of them multiple games. BU was the only team who did not play 2 games yesterday. As Killebrew grounds one straight back to Boyd, who fires on to first. Not before the Terriers strike for 2 runs, and your score is now 2-0 as we head to the 4th. This is the Patriot League Championship on Stadium. For the latest Patriot League news and information, follow the official league account on Twitter at Patriot League. Whoever prevails here will move on to an NCAA regional. The selection show is scheduled for 10 p.m., if I'm not mistaken, on Sunday. And Sunday originally kind of the backup plan for this championship games to be played, but really trying to get this one done and in the books. Of course, Boston University wants this game played today. They want to maintain the advantage that they really earned by winning their first 2 games, being the team that gets to rest on Friday, as this one is slap foul first base side for Katie Schultz.
But as we saw with Lehigh, it was actually kind of to their advantage that they played back-to-back yesterday in terms of confidence and momentum when they defeated the second-seeded Bucknell Bison. Lehigh, of course, the 3rd seed in this year's tournament, making it here to face the first-seeded Boston University Terriers in the championship round.
And you know, it's really frustrating for Army and for Bucknell because Lehigh has been so good since really the beginning of the league. They have the most championships, the most NCAA appearances, as for the second time today, Katie Schultz grounds out to second. But this has been a down year for them compared to where they've been historically, at least since 2010. But even so, they appear in the title game for the 2nd year in a row. Mary Hannah Smith now bats with 1 down. And it is outside for ball 1. Dubois cruising.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've seen Dubois have some games where she's a real strikeout machine, other games where she relies on her fielders. In this case, with Lehigh being such a contact team, it's been the fielders who she's relied on. Emily Morrow's done a nice job with already 4 assists over at second base.
And as Dubois falls behind 2-0, Heinen will go have a chat with her. Things can change very quickly in this postseason. Maybe not so much the case for Lehigh, who our lineup, who like to kind of play small ball, where getting that leadoff runner on for them is so important. But they really had done nothing until that 6th inning against Bucknell pitcher Rand Geffert. Suddenly they rallied, had runners on 2nd and 3rd, and grounded one through the hole. As Smith fouls off the 2-0 pitch. 50th start for Smith. 43 hits, 3 of them homers. 5 doubles and 30 knocked in. She's held down the middle of the order for Lehigh all year long.
That 30 RBI does lead Lehigh, but on the BU side of things, you've got 3 players with over 30 RBI and 3 more with at least 24.
3-1 pitch results in the free pass. Second base runner for Lehigh. Neither have reached with a base hit. So Smith on with Carolyn Wright, the batter. The batting average numbers down for her this season as the former catcher has occupied first base this year.
Did have a key double yesterday in the second game for Lehigh. And one of those returners from last year's championship team, one of the returning starters as well.
Here's the pitch. Called strike 1. Middle of the order, trying to strike back after BU plated 2 in the 3rd inning. Here's the pitch. Upstairs. As the rain continues to fall, we've seen both pitchers uncharacteristically struggling with control.
And a lot of that just due to that wet softball that they're dealing with. Right now, we got through what was pretty much half of the game with no rain, but now it's coming down. It's not pouring, but it's consistent drizzle here.
Almost a mist. And there's not significant wind, but it is blowing to right field. Overcast Saturday, now approaching afternoon. As Wright steps in, ahead 2 balls and a strike. And that one grazes the outside edge. So Wright will need to protect now, trying to move Smith along. This one tapped to 3rd, but foul. Killebrew on her toes. That one will go into the tube.
And still seeing the infield, especially Maddie Killebrew and Caitlin Solinger have been playing in quite a bit throughout this playoff.
Here's the pitch. It is cracked into the gap. This one is off the wall. Smith was off with contact, and she makes 3rd base. Carolyn Wright just put a charge in one directly at where we are stationed in left center field. It hits off the wall, and Lehigh have runners on 2nd and 3rd with no one down.
And it's a good piece of hitting to put that ball right where it came from and got it off the fence. Julie Shonda came up from center field and made the play, not allowing a run to score. But you still got both in scoring position for your 5-hole hitter.
Yeah, right. I think she hit that ball so hard that that's actually what prevented Smith from motoring around from first. If that ball kind of hits the green and then rolls all the way to the wall, then maybe Smith had time to scamper around.
Right, that ball had a wicked bounce off the fence that played well for the Terrier defense.
I thought we might have been out a couple thousand with some broken equipment here, but that one did not clear the wall. Man, Greg, that one got my heart rate going a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't know where that one was going to end up. It looked pretty high and it came pretty fast, but didn't have quite the distance to get over the fence.
This sets up also Brooks a crucial at-bat now in the fourth inning for the Mountain Hawks. 3-4 hitters doing their job.
And don't be shocked if there's a pitching change at any point during these little mini rallies. Coach Ashley Waters is very akin to pulling the string or pulling the leash early and then having another pitcher return as well throughout games. We've seen them go with all 4 pitchers in a game before, and that could definitely be in the cards today.
Falling behind 2-0, this time the freshman hurler, resulting in a mound visit, and now we'll try to climb back in. A swinging strike on a bouncing pitch from Also Brooks. Not what she wanted. Lets Dubois back into this AB. Also Brooks popped out to Heinen, trying to bunt her first time up. As that one is pumped in for strike 2.
And that's a nice job hitting that high and outside corner of the strike zone for Dubois, not giving a hittable pitch to Also Brooks.
Limited playing time for the freshman DP. 52 at-bats. She has homered twice, though, in that limited time. And she offers at that one. No, she did not offer. No umpire at first base where they would typically make that appeal, but I think it's the right call, as Also Brooks able to lay off the high heat. That loads the count, and then payoff pitches swung on and missed. That one had some downward movement on it. Dubois going to that drop ball and getting the result with a big punch out. So now it's up to Dipsy with 2 down. Boyd in the dugout just hoping her team can claw back into this one. As the first pitch slowly in there for a strike.
We do see sometimes, especially a lot of times after strikeouts, Allie Dubois goes next batter, first pitch, off speed.
Right.
We've seen that a lot, and it's worked nearly every time to perfection for a first pitch strike.
0-1 is pumped in there. Fastball this time. And you can see it just froze Allison Dipsy, the catcher. Biggest spot in her young career. Taking a .221 average into this game. Swung on and chopped to third. This is Union, a long throw across the diamond, and Salinger makes the tag. Close play as the catcher was motoring down the line, but the Terriers get out of a jam. They still lead 2-0. They'll bat in the fourth. Postseason softball on Stadium returns in a moment. Patriot League merchandise and championship apparel is available right now on PatriotLeagueStore.com. Log on today to get the gear you need to support your favorite Patriot League school. Whoever does earn that NCAA tournament appearance, you're going to want to remember this 2018 season. And it certainly has been a memorable one for Jilly Shanda in her senior year. Hasn't matched really her output number-wise last season, but has still been an integral part of a BU lineup that, you said it, Greg, led the league in nearly every category. And you also mentioned to me that you felt she was due for a hit, and she will take second base. Lehigh failing to learn their lesson, as those lazy throws back in the infield just aren't going to cut it. Shanda is now on second base with nobody out. I'm not sure how they've scored some of these other plays where the runners advance, but that one will absolutely go as a single, as Shanda did stop as she rounded first base, then realized nobody was covering.
And she slid in there very heads up. And
Morrow bats now.
they definitely weren't expecting her to advance, which is kind of surprising because it seems like BU does that every single time they can.
Two nothing BU, nobody down, and a great chance to add another. One strike on Morrow. As she lifts one high in the air to deep right field, and it is over the head of the right fielder. This will be a triple for Morrow as Shonda will score. Emily Morrow crushed that ball high in the air, and it got over the head of Katie Schultz, one hopped the wall, and BU now leads 3-0.
And we saw Emily Morrow hit a ball over there for a walk-off home run earlier this year. This one had a little bit more height, not quite the distance, but just as effective, as you still have no outs in the inning. And it'll be easy for her to score. You just lift another one out there. And some insurance for Allie Dubois in the circle.
Indeed, important insurance. BU now lead 3-0, and the speedy Emily Morrow almost lapped Shonda on that play. Shonda had to wait, of course, until that one landed. Must have been just fair. We don't really have a good vantage point on the right field line, but it's a good thing Shonda did get to second because there could have been a little stack there on the bases. Could have been trouble.
And
Instead,
Morrow
it results in the
didn't
run.
even need to slide. I almost thought she was actually going to go for home. And she ended up on third.
Ponce takes strike one. Parker Boyd struggling in the middle of this one. The streak was ended at 22 scoreless postseason innings. As the squeeze play is on, Morrow sprinting for home, and Ponce will be out at first, but she does the job. 4-0 BU.
And once again, that's kind of taking the extra base. You have the little suicide squeeze, and Morrow gets the cross home, and a very well-executed bunt.
It was.
Something we haven't said in a long time for any of these teams, but Alexa Ponce just gets that one down, not a lot of distance, but just enough to make it an unfeasible tag for Dipsy to make on Morrow, so she had to go to first.
First pitch is slapped up the middle by Salinger. She's been loving that exact spot, just grounding one past second base, and she now stands on first with one down.
The
Boyd
offense
under
has been on.
siege.
Yeah, it's kind of all coming at once. This BU lineup was successful in Game 2. In Game 1, it was more the mistakes or taking advantage of mistakes that BU had found success with. But this one, they're just hitting the ball all over the yard.
Another bunt. This one gets down and just dies in front of home plate. A collision between the first baseman right and the catcher will allow Silvestri to reach first safely. Now there's a chance she would have made it anyway. That would have been a tough play, as the wet infield dirt just killed that one. So 2 on and 1 down for Union, who has not been retired yet. Has the makings of a big inning for Boston University. As Union takes strike one. Rain continuing to fall. We just saw it impact a play in the field really for the first time. Union taking that one on the outer half for strike 2.
It was definitely a tough break for Lehigh. You just had a lot of fielders chasing and a miscommunication in which they all just went for the ball.
Here's the 0-2. That one is up high.
And we see double-barreled action in both of the bullpens, one of which is Allie Dubois just staying loose out there for BU. along with Lizzie Ann Reno. Curious to see if maybe they'll switch it up for an inning.
That one is low and away. Rain certainly a factor for the pitchers. As you see Boyd just trying to dry off that ball. And here's the pitch. It is going to be poked over the head of the third baseman. It's a fair ball. And Lehigh tried to record what would have been a tough out there at third base. I don't believe that will go as an error. Should be a single, the third one in a row for the Terriers. And Union is aboard for the third time in this game.
And she has been really tremendous at the top of this order. Although her at-bats haven't really come at the top of innings except for in the first, she's made do wherever she can. And the two-out rally has been something that BU's thrived with in the postseason. And they look to continue it again.
Still have a couple to play with, though, in this inning. As Wong steps in and takes strike one. Heinen on deck. She will bat, barring the double play. As Wong waves at that outside pitch. Some of those balls on the outer edge is really when you can, really the only time where you can get Wong to put a half-hearted swing on it. She typically never gets cheated at the plate. Is able to lay off that one. Four 4-0 BU and a chance to break this game open. Here's the 1-2. Going to be grounded to third. Shortstop will fire home, and it's dropped by Dipsy.
Salinger made a really smart play by sliding into home rather than trying to get there standing up. I think she almost knocked the ball out of Dipsy's glove. Her cleat didn't hit it, but it was pretty close. It certainly affected Dipsy's vision on the ball coming in.
We'll see how that one is scored. As Wong, regardless, she should receive an RBI even if it is ruled an error.
Right. I don't think that's a throwing error though. I would say it's just an infield single. Or yeah, I see what you mean with that.
And Heinen puts a charge into the first pitch, but it is well foul.
Oh, it hit a car.
It wouldn't be a day at BU softball field without a couple damaged windshields.
It was a moving car at that on the door.
Hard hit strike for Heinen behind 0-1. And she lifts one high and deep in the air to left field. And that one is out of sight for us and out of play, foul ball.
Boy, she is putting a charge into these balls to left field. My goodness. If that one got down, you wonder if that one would have been over the trees.
200 to the wall. And Heinen is looking to blast one. Taking outside.
That's a gutsy take right there. That ball had the makings of an outside corner strike three, but just was a little bit further outside and will go down as the double B.
5-0, and this one in danger of getting away from the Mountain Hawks as Heinen just barely staying alive. Still just the one out. And it was Ponce who recorded an RBI. It was a productive out on the suicide squeeze for the third run of the game. Boyd fighting it. The 1-2 is tap foul. Sixth pitch of this at-bat coming up. Two of the league's best dueling here. And the pitch, again, fouled first base side.
You can see the pitch selection Alex Heinen has when she's at the plate because obviously she got those first two she thought she could ride, and these ones now she's just fouling off to stay in the count. It's not putting crazy swings on everything. It's just putting the hacking swings on the ones that look good.
Boyd is not going to come back inside when she saw what Heinen did. anytime you go inside on her, she is just right on it and turning on it. Just needs to keep it fair.
The average has been boosted for Alex Heinen, and so has the non-home run power. Plenty of doubles, 3 triples on the season, and just 2 home runs. She had 6 her freshman year, 7 her sophomore year. But as a junior, she's really become a complete hitter in terms of all around and everything she can do.
Here's the 1-2. 8th pitch of this bases loaded at bat is going to be skied on the infield. Should be playable for right in foul territory. She makes the grab. So now Killebrew will get a chance to boost that postseason RBI total here in the bottom of the 4th with 2 down. Shonda is on deck. She started this inning as that one is in there from Boyd. Terriers trying to bat around in an active 4th inning. Lehigh just trying to stay alive, keep the game within reach. And Killebrew hits one to the outfield. This is going to run the gap, and it gets by the center fielder. Killebrew will round second. She will make third, and she has 3 more RBIs. BU up 8-0.
What a massive hit by Maddie Killebrew to continue what has been an incredible playoff for her. Now, Alex, that is, 10 RBI for the playoffs for Maddie Killebrew.
And that might just wrap up the postseason MVP award for Killebrew, who puts an exclamation point on a humongous BU 4th inning.
This has been quite a showing for the Terrier offense.
Shonda will be up next, and we'll see if we have some changes made by the Mountain Hawks. Your heart really goes out to Parker Boyd, who will depart this game, as she, no doubt, the player responsible for Lehigh even being here. But once the rain started to fall, she really kind of struggled with that command, and those BU hitters taking advantage.
And all of a sudden, you're in an 8-0 hole. You started the inning with a more manageable deficit, and in this with that single swing of the bat, obviously 3 more crossed the plate. You came in with just 3-0, which is very, very manageable. But when you're looking at an 8-0 deficit, an 8-0 hole is a lot different on the eyes. Definitely not an easy thing to come back from, especially with a team that's more pitcher and defense reliant.
I think that's a good thing when a team's season is on the line. You really don't want to end things prematurely.
Right, and when you get this far, it's because you're a good team. So you deserve those extra outs. You shouldn't be sent home early if you have what it takes to come back.
Even if you don't, you might not deserve to leave empty-handed.
Exactly. You should get the opportunity because, you make it this far, you've won a couple games because you're a good team.
This one is skied to left, playable for Nicole Yazzo. The senior makes the grab. Damage done. 2 runs followed by the 3 RBI triple from Maddie Killebrew. The score now 8-0 BU. Will head to the 5th here on the Patriot League Network on Stadium. Mountain Hawks looking for base runners here in the top half of the 5th inning. Timberman will be the first to bat, as the Terriers are in command now 8-0. Plated 2 in the 3rd, and then 6 runs in the 4th inning. First pitch in there for Dubois. And we'll see if Coach Waters wants to go with Dubois the rest of the way. Always has plenty of options in the pen, and now with a comfortable lead. I don't know. You don't want to get too playful. You don't want to get too cute.
Right. You don't want to. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to kind of take things for granted. But also, do you want to give somebody a chance? Because it's likely that you would not only go with one pitcher if you get to the next stage.
Right, the NCAA regional round.
You don't want to have only one pitcher who's pitched in the last 3 weeks.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's going to be tapped to shortstop. Yunin fires on to first to record the first out. Time ticking down for the Mountain Hawks as they have 8 outs remaining, needing 8 runs. And for BU, the even year trend would continue if this score were to hold. 2014 postseason champions, 2016 as well. And now looking to do the same in 2018. Yunin, the only player who has been there since 2014. As this one grounded to Killebrew, who fires high but on target to first base.
And one thing Maddie Killebrew has not had the easiest time with is in the field, but that one made it look pretty easy. Ranging over and made a nice play to retire the second batter of the inning.
So Dubois looking for the 1-2-3. Hasn't thrown, I don't think she's even up to 5 pitches in this inning. Making quick work of the bottom 3 Lehigh hitters so far. Rabago in the 9-hole steps up now. That one tapped foul off the glove of Alex Heinen behind the plate. For Killebrew now, 34 RBI on the season.
And 10
of them in the last 3 games.
And it's been consistent, 2, 5, and 3. It's not like they're all been in one game. She has been incredible.
There's Dubois with the punch out. And the Terriers celebrate on the field. They are the 2018 Patriot League champions. The 8-0 Mercy Rule victory gives BU an NCAA tournament appearance, their 3rd in the last 5 years.
What a offensive performance for the Terriers this afternoon, batting around in the bottom of the 4th inning. Have a day, have a year, have a weekend, Maddie Killebrew. She was incredible. And the senior leadership gets to play another weekend coming up.
So Dubois ends the game in emphatic fashion, a called strike 3, and she moves through the Lehigh lineup just twice. Going the distance, the full 5 innings, striking out 4. And if it wasn't for the incredible performance of Maddie Killebrew over these 3 games, Dubois certainly has been integral all season long and in this postseason run.
And completely, Alex, we talked about the senior leadership you have on this team, veterans, and you also have the youngsters in the circle. And what a game. What a finish, what a performance for this BU team. You know, last year they fell twice at this stage, but in this case, you know they wanted to get it back, and that's exactly what they did right here on their own home turf, capturing their first Patriot League title here at Boston University softball field.
2018 Patriot League champions, the Boston University Terriers. We'll have live interviews with head coach Ashley Waters, who just secured her 2nd NCAA tournament appearance, and as well as the MVP after that is awarded. We will take a quick break and return shortly. This is Patriot League softball on Stadium.
We'll be awaiting the awards presentation here for the 2018 Patriot League champs Boston University softball team. And what a way to finish with the 8-run Mercy Roll in the championship game. What could have been the first of 2, but now will just be the only game. This team will find out who they play in the NCAA tournament tomorrow night at around 10 p.m. And you can see the utter excitement on the field for this team, for the seniors, their second Patriot League title. And for Brittany Unin, senior shortstop, her third. She had a medical red shirt to return this year, and what a way to end your career for her, as well as the other seniors on this BU roster. And for Maddie Killebrew, the junior third baseman, was absolutely incredible during the Patriot League tournament, going 5 for 10 with a home run, a triple, and 2 doubles, 10 RBIs, and just an incredible overall performance for this Boston University softball team, offensively, and with Allie Dubois and Callie Dolphy in the circle. And we'll have live interviews coming up with Coach Ashley Waters and the MVP of the tournament, who will be named shortly. Alex Smith, our decorated play-by-play broadcaster, will be taking part in those while we give you coverage of what is occurring. Obviously, some celebratory photographs being taken over in front of the Terrier dugout. Terriers did serve as the home team today. We saw them as an away team once in this on their home field. Kind of an interesting facet to the tournament. And what a way to end it for this team. Allie Dubois finished with 71 pitches through 5 innings, striking out 5, allowing just 2 base runners on a single walk and a single hit, as it looks like we are getting ready to check out the awards presentation on the field. And we have a camera out there getting ready to see who the most valuable player of the tournament is. I have an inkling as to who it may be, but we might as well leave some suspense and wait for the official word. And what an exciting time for Boston University. Their second as a school. It is BU's second Team Patriot League title of the year. Field hockey took home the honors in the fall, and now spring it is softball. And of course you had men's hockey take home that Hockey East title, but not in the Patriot League for that sport. So the third conference title for BU as a whole, one each season, and a nice way to have an extended stay and a nice week for these seniors who are graduating, getting to end on a high note. And we have all the trophies over there behind home plate, getting ready for those to be presented. And plenty of nice pictures. You see the freshman class, the sophomore class, the junior class, the senior class, all making a difference for this Boston University softball team. And a nice embrace between Emma Wong and Katie Schultz, a pair. As we see the Lehigh having a nice conversation, some embraces with those teammates, and you have to congratulate the Mountain Hawks on a nice season as well. They knocked off second seed at Bucknell to get here, and coming into the day, in the first few innings, Parker Boyd was nearly untouchable for the Mountain Hawks, and you got to respect the performance she gave throughout this tournament. And another exciting time here in the West Campus of Boston University. And it looks like we will soon have words from some of the 2018 champion Terriers. And as crazy as it is, they won it in 2010 as a part of the America East, 2012 as a part of the America East, 2014, 2016, and now 2018. So continuing the even years in the 2010s for the Boston University softball champions. Just a lot of fun being had on the field now for BU. Again, we'd like to thank, of course, everyone who is producing and helping us with this broadcast, as well as everyone for watching Patriot League TV. And it looks like we are just about ready for the awards presentation. We'll get a look at what those trophies are looking like. And you can get a quick look there at the cup for winning the Patriot League title, as well as some additional awards, which should end up be handing out pretty soon. And luckily avoided the rain, and no dreary day for this Terrier softball team as they take home the title. So the alternating years continue between BU and Lehigh. Lehigh, BU, Lehigh, BU, Lehigh, and now Boston University once again takes home the title. And now we will have the awards occurring.
The Patriot League would like to congratulate all 4 teams for their outstanding performance during the week. First, the Patriot League would like to announce the members of the all-tournament team. When each member of the all-tournament team is announced, we ask that the student athletes come to the awards area if they are in attendance. There are 2 members from each of the 2 semifinal teams. Representing Army West Point on the all-tournament team are Maisie Dewberry and Taylor Livingston. Representing Bucknell, Lauren Hadley and Megan Kovac.
So we're learning the awards as soon as you are here on the live broadcast. And Parker Boyd being named to the all-tournament team. Katie Schultz from Lehigh as well. And Rachel Timberman also being named to the all-tournament team for the Lehigh Mountain Hawks.
The 2018 Patriot League Championship team on the all-tournament squad, a freshman, Allie Dubois.
And earning the All-Patriot League Tournament team for BU first is freshman pitcher Allie Dubois.
A junior, Maddie Killebrew.
And junior Maddie Killebrew, the third baseman.
A senior, Emma Wong.
And senior right fielder Emma Wong.
And a senior, Brittany Unit.
And senior shortstop Brittany Unin also will be named to the all-tournament team.
Present the 2018 Patriot League Tournament Most Valuable Player from Boston University, junior, Maddie Killebrew.
And Maddie Killebrew will take home the award for the most valuable player in the tournament, going 5 for 10 with 2 doubles, a triple, a home run, and 10 runs batted in across 3 games.
Patriot League would like to congratulate Lehigh on a fine performance all weekend. Congratulations to Coach Grant Troyan and the 2018 Mountain Hawks of Lehigh for finishing as runners-up.
And the runner-up trophy will be presented to the Lehigh Mountain Hawks here.
And now the Patriot League would like to congratulate Coach Ashley Waters and the captains Alex Heinen, Diana Parker, and Brittany Unit. The 2018 Patriot League Tournament.
And now the Patriot League Championship trophy is awarded to the Terriers. captains Brittany Union, Alex Hine, and Diana Parker. First ones to grab hold of the trophy along with Coach Ashley Waters. And now they'll celebrate and bring it back with their teammates.